In honor of Aquaman, let's make our listeners wet. So I'm Aaron. I'm the one who hates receiving Christmas cards.
I'm Josh, and I'm not really the biggest Christmas fan to begin with.
You look like the Grinch, so it fits.
Yeah, I am. My cubicle, underneath my name tag, I have a picture of the Grinch. Everybody else has these stupid Christmas decorations. I got the Grinch.
I like Christmas. I don't mind it, but I just hate getting cards because I have to open them just to acknowledge like who sent them, and then they literally just get thrown in the trash. I don't fucking put them on like a fireplace mantle or doorway.
Yeah, no, man. I'm with you with the cards. Like, and how fucking expensive are these things these days? Like $5, you know?
So here's my theory on people who sign cards. You can PayPal me however much the card would have cost plus the postage. By the end of the day, I'd probably have like $500 in PayPal funds, and I could buy something, comics on eBay that I actually want, instead of just throwing your fucking card in the trash.
That's a good point, man.
I would appreciate it a lot more, and the whole point of a card is to appreciate it, right? So let me just appreciate your money. You don't have to worry about it.
Now, do you prefer PayPal or that Venmo card? Whatever. Because I tried to pay. I mentioned PayPal before. You're like, nobody uses that anymore.
Yeah, it depends if you have the funds. I don't want to pay for the funds, but, you know. Either way, just send electronic money.
Yeah, and I just don't get cards in general. Like you said, you open it up. Oh, great, thanks. You know, put a little, you know what I do? Like if I give a gift to somebody, which I really don't. I buy shit for my kid. That's it. Nobody else gets shit from me. I take a piece of wrapping paper and write to, and then from, and tape it to the fucking box. That's your card. All right? I'm not buying
I always said, too, for like birthdays and shit, if you're going to get me a card to put on the present, I'd rather just have $1 taped to the box. Write your fucking name on the dollar bill, like of whatever dollar card you would have bought.
Yeah, just don't cover up the serial number, right?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Huh. Fuck Christmas cards.
Yeah. So as much as I hate Christmas, I do have to tell a somewhat funny story.
All right.
So I make these fucking Christmas cookies every year. I posted some pictures on the Facebook account. You know, they're not typically your normal Christmas cookies, I guess. We do like Angels of Death and such. But my kid was there this year, and my buddy makes cookies. And my kid, he's going to be 4 in like a month. So my buddy makes a Cookie Monster cookie. And he asked my kid, who is this? Kid goes, I don't know. And I go, pick up the one next to Cookie Monster and ask him what it is. He picks it up, and my kid goes, oh, that's Michael Myers. I was like, attaboy.
That's the cutest thing ever.
I was like, I raised them right. A 4-year-old, basically, who has no idea who the fuck Cookie Monster is, but knows Michael.
That's awesome. See,
that's parenting 101.
Parenting 101 and pop culture 101, really.
Yeah, fuck Cookie Monster.
Well, do you think kids even know what fucking Sesame Street is anymore?
He knows like Elmo.
So Elmo's still... I've been out of this for a while, man.
Yeah, normal kids know.
Yeah.
But he's basically going to be the next Making a Murderer.
Well, at least you can make money off the documentary they're going to make about him.
That's true. They can refer back to this podcast and say how I knew about it from day one.
You are good at predicting things, man. Yeah. You're like the fucking Kreskin or whatever of nerd culture.
Before I get too far into it, I have to apologize if I'm hacking and all this. Voice is all fucked up.
So you apologize to them, but I've been dealing with this for 2 fucking weeks?
It's indirectly your fault.
It's not my fault. How is this my fucking fault?
If I didn't know you, I wouldn't know your mom. And it's your mom's vajayjay's juice that corroded my voice.
Oh my God.
Fucked up my whole throat. It's like the acid from the aliens that drips out. It's like scorches.
So basically you're going to be like Michael Douglas and get throat cancer from eating, you know what?
That's what they say.
I think Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden had it.
He did say that. I wonder if that's true.
I guess. I don't know. The whole HPV thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Weird. Depending on the women involved in the case study, it's something I might sign up for. Find out.
Oh, that's like being a gynecologist. No fucking way. Sounds like a good idea at first, but when you think about it, no. Fucking way.
Anyway, so obviously we're going to talk Aquaman, but you're going to have to listen to a bunch of our bullshit first.
Of course, that's what we do.
So if you want that, skip ahead. but you better not. So a couple things to announce. Figure-wise, I saw NECA's doing a Pennywise accessory pack, which is pretty cool. It's like the Nightmare on Elm Street accessory pack they did, but you get a sewer piece where you're going to see Pennywise in the sewer hole.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then you get like the Tim Curry doll that was in the movie was like the homage to the original. Yeah. There's a Jack-in-the-Box, Georgie's arm, a boat, and a balloon. So probably going to be about $30, but it's just cool that you get the sewer piece with it.
So that's pretty neat.
And if you have the other figures, it'll be, a nice little diorama piece you could do.
Yeah, if you actually take them out of
the
packaging. We don't do that.
And if you do, all the more power to you. One more out of circulation I don't have to worry about.
Like, do you ever get tempted?
Never.
Like, sometimes I'm like, that would look so cool. Like you said, in a diorama, or just set up one scene, like your favorite scene from a movie. Would you get doubles to set it up?
Never.
I think about it, man.
I just, since I've been like 8 years old, I've kept them in the box. I just like the artwork. I think it's like a perfect backdrop for the figure.
Cool, but
the accessories are displayed around it. Half the time you can't even use half of them because they come with extra hands and heads. So
I don't know, man. I think it'd be cool to set up. You see people that do it, and you got to respect it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not like anti-opener, but I just, it's not my
you
thing.
are anti-opening because you don't open shit.
But I don't have a problem if people do.
I see.
It's just not my thing, but I'm not like, oh my God, you looks like shit that you opened that. But I don't know. It's just easier to display, hang it on a peg.
So you go to easy route.
Yeah.
And it's 5 deep. You can't even see the fucking fifth figure. So what's the fucking point?
But you can take it off and look at it at any point.
So you got to move four fucking things.
Easier than moving 12 boxes in a closet, to get to it and take it out of the box.
What are you trying to say? Looking at my closet here full of Star Wars shit.
Much easier to dust, too, when they're in the box, gotta say.
Yeah, it is. All right, so what else you got there? It's got the Pennywise and...
Well, that's all I got for, as far as announcements. But related to toys was Hasbro released a date for Force Friday, which is going to be October 4th this year. So it's
next year?
Well, yeah, sorry. This fucking end of the year bullshit, whatever. Technically 2019.
Are you gonna blame that on my mom too?
Yes. The fucking Gregorian calendar. Fuck the calendar.
So what's that by the Jewish calendar?
I don't know.
It's like year 5,000 or something.
Sure. So October 4th, 5,000. You may or may not be able to find episode 9 figures. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with we're not gonna find shit.
So we talked with the Solo release.
Yeah.
With Toys R Us gone, there's really nowhere to go. I can predict already. I'm going to go to Target. There's not going to be anything out. I'm going to go to the stock boy and be like, hey, you're supposed to have figures today. Can you look in the back?
What figures are we supposed to have, sir?
Be like, they're episode 9 figures from Star Wars.
Star Wars? Does anybody collect Star Wars anymore?
I don't think so. Did you even get anything?
What? Star Wars?
They're going to look at me like I have 4 fucking heads. And then I'm going to wait 45 minutes to see if they come out with stuff. Then I'm going to have to open it, and I'll have one case for the 2 people that are there. So
here's some juiced up motherfucker going to the stock boy. Oh, you got any Star Wars stuff? No, sir, please don't hit me. No, high school was really bad for me.
And I'm going to be probably pissed because I'm going to be late for work because obviously we're going to have to stop before that. I would probably take the day, but...
We'll have to make an event out of it. Let's take the day off for that.
We can live Facebook stream it or whatever. Our epic fails of finding figures.
Here's our empty hands. Here's the credit card ready to go. No fucking figures. I'm scared that, not scared, but it's not going to look good, man. Based on past performances, look how many times we went to fucking Toys R Us. We're going to have to limit you to 4 figures, or whatever it was they limited you to.
There's 8 in a wave. You can't even get a whole wave.
Yeah. It's like, A, ship enough, and B, order enough. I don't know.
So I guess my question is to you, why does Hasbro even do Force Friday anymore? And do people care enough to even go to it? You're basically promoting an event that do people even give a shit about?
I think based on the 2 past failures, I think less people are going to be interested in it, but I think you're still going to get some people that are going to want to go out. You got diehards that, of course, will go out for anything, right? But overall, the popularity on it has to have waned. And I don't know, man. I would honestly prefer just put the fucking figures out and put enough out that we can get the entire wave. I'd rather have that than a fucking event that isn't really an event anyway.
And I wish they would just make, instead of like they're doing 4 waves of Solo, which you can't even find anything wave 2, 3, and 4. Just make 20 figures from the get-go and just keep shipping those cases. And then you don't have peg warmers because there's only going to be one guy per case, basically.
Right.
And then you sell them throughout the whole movie release.
And stop putting repeat fucking figures out. I don't need another fucking Kylo Ren.
You know there's going to be another Darth Vader and Luke.
Yeah, I don't need that shit.
No.
You know? I mean, it might have worked back then, you know, in the 80s, like the 70s and 80s. But now, you wanted to get nostalgic about it, do 12. 12 key characters from the movie. Have a 12 back.
Good point.
And people will buy that shit like that, man.
And you can make Kylo Ren, but make them look different. And I feel like in the movies, they made all the characters look different just for the sake of selling the toy. Right? Like Luke always looked different. He had his Jedi Knight costume. He had his Bespin. There's a reason.
Yeah.
It was to sell toys and merchandise. Just do the same thing. We don't need Kylo Ren to look 100% the same. As long as he has the mask on, you know who it is.
It's true. But I think he only owns that one black cloak set, you know? It's like,
does he own like 8 of them, or he just never washes it? I wonder how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Vader ever washed any part of his suit? Like, how funky was his codpiece?
Like, how does Kylo Ren take a shit with that big cape? And, like, can you imagine the production? It's like a chick on her wedding day with that dress.
Or does he have, like, the flap, like those old-time pajamas?
I think he has, like, 8 stormtroopers that have to, like, pick up his little skirt piece and, you know, like, hold it off to the side of the toilet. That's what I think.
That's a good point. I don't...
But anyway... So the date is like a month later than it normally is. So this has been in September. And their reasoning is they think since it's closer to the movie coming out December, more people will be interested in buying the product. I don't think that a month is going to make a difference because it's still essentially like 2.5 months prior to when the movie comes out.
Now, when would you want the figures to be released? Did you like
Black Friday?
Black Friday.
It's a month before the movie. Kids or parents are going shopping for their kids no matter what. It's going to be a brand new thing. They're going to buy it. Collectors, even though you may hate Black Friday, which it does suck, you're still going to go out because you're like, I need the figures. They're going to sell like hotcakes.
I don't want a Black Friday because I fucking hate Black Friday.
No, I know. I would not personally want it that day, but if I'm a Hasbro exec, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
And by then, the trailers are going to be playing. Kids will be like, oh, I saw that in the trailer. I want that. Everyone puts it on their damn Christmas list. By October, if you release it in October, by the time December comes around, they already forgot about it.
That's true.
Or parents already bought the shit. So the movie releases and it's a week before Christmas. Parents already bought their toys.
Right.
Kids are going to go to the movie. Oh, I do want that. Sorry, Johnny, I already bought your shit.
Right. I can see like a month. I would hope maybe before Black Friday, but have a sale for Black Friday.
There you go.
You know, like they always do for shit. Fucking Star Wars figures.
But I think Star Wars is failing everywhere. So if you haven't been to a discount store, check them out. I mean, still Last Jedi figures?
Yeah.
Five Below is selling the A-Wing and a police cruiser for $5. Which I don't understand their pricing because you can buy a regular 3 3/4 inch for $4, or you can buy a gigantic ship with a figure for $5.
And you get
no brainer.
They have the 2-packs. They had Rey and the Praetorian Guard for $5. They had Solo and Boba Fett for $5. So you could get 2 figures for $5 or 1 figure for $4.
So maybe like $2.
Yeah,
for regular ones.
Yeah. If you're going to Five Below for like stocking stuffer type shit, because I think that's what that fucking store is good for. You're like, oh, I'll get this for $2. Oh, here's 2 figures for $5. Oh, great. Okay, perfect for that. I don't get it. Now, is this more of like a Hasbro deal or like Hasbro fucking up and making too much of stupid shit? Is it Disney and Lucasfilm not, you know, pressuring Hasbro? I think we might have talked about this before, but I can't understand how Disney can let this fail.
Do they want it to fail secretly? Like, do they even want to be involved with toys?
Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
But as a licensor, do you think like Do you think they want Hasbro to fail so badly that they secretly can just buy it back and control it themselves?
Well, they fucked it up enough. They should have bought it back already.
I mean, their stocks are going.
Yeah. And I mean, you go to, if you go to Disney World and you go to the Tattooing Traders in Hollywood Studios, you can get Star Wars figures there. You know, they have their own droid factory line. You know, they sell pretty good. They have tons of them. I see people buying it when I'm there. They're cool figures. They sell. And it's what people want too.
I think it's this fact that Hasbro, I don't even know if they made too much. I think they make too many items that people don't want from the get-go. And then they price their shit so ridiculous. Like these ships, there's no way they should be $40 and $50. The plastic and the sculpting, the painting, it's horrendous. Now for $5, we both picked them up.
Sure.
I'm not paying $40, $50.
You know what's funny? Last year when the movie came out, Amazon ran a special on like Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter, Poe's ship. Was it that thing that was on crate? I think he flew one of those things. They were already 60% off, and the movie was just out. It didn't even come out yet because I got them for fucking Christmas. So they were already 60% off on Amazon
because they were already out 3 months. That's their problem.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Shit in September.
That is true. Yeah. So they were out for 2.5 months already, 3 months, and yeah.
But and you mentioned Poe's ship. I just said I found them at Ross for $7.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. This shit's showing up at Tuesday morning. If you go to Ollie's, there's 8,000 different Star Wars items. I mean, all these retail, every one of them is getting Star Wars product. So Hasbro must be sitting on warehouses full of this stuff.
Sad, man. You know, how much other shit is in a warehouse? Like the good shit.
It's probably still like Return of the Jedi figures stuck somewhere.
Oh my God. So
that dark
imagine
corner.
There's like 100,000 like Return of the Jedi mint in package. And they're like, here you go. They release it. Now there's 100,000 out there that are not going to be open. What does that do to the price of those?
Yeah, they're like $3 figures.
Yeah. But everybody who has them, they're paid $500 for them. What do you do? Does that go down? You just released 100,000 brand new ones.
Yeah, it'd be tanked.
I don't think there's 100,000.
No, there's none
Jedi out there somewhere. But
well, we were saying they just released these stupid animated figures, or they're not really animated figures, but they're supposed to be. Walmart, they come in those cylindrical packaging.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're called.
I forget. The packaging, it looks kind of cool. It's like a cylinder tube, but like there's a comic inside. The comic's fucked up. It's a gimmicky thing.
They're re-released toys of shit from 4 years ago.
Just a little different packaging. I think if you have a younger kid who didn't get those figures, it's almost like every 4 years, 5 years, you figure another 4 or 5 year old kid is being turned on to Star Wars by somebody. Is that what they're going after?
But can't they just buy the new movie merchandise?
Not if there's a new movie. There's plenty of new movie merchandise.
But stop. But
you can't find the figure you want.
But not a single person demanded figures from these webisode things that they're doing. Nobody. No. But yet that's what they'll make. Oh, we'll make 1 million of those. There's no way they're selling. They will be $1 after Christmas, and they still won't sell.
But I do gotta say, the little animated shorts are kind of cool. I don't think you've watched them.
No, I don't watch that. No.
It's like 1.5 to 2 minutes, and they recreate scenes and clips of the movies, and it. Like the Vader right before, at the end of Rogue One, the beginning of New Hope. That's pretty cool. It's something different. You're like, oh, cool. That's it. You don't need to make fucking figures for it.
And if you do make figures of it, make it look like they're from the animated series. Don't just re-release regular standard figures.
I'll agree with you on that. I'll buy them on clearance. So here's the thing. Force Friday comes out. Do we go on Force Friday knowing 4 or 5 months later, we'll be able to get these at Five Below?
We will definitely go and pay full price because we're idiots and have to have it now.
But doesn't that ever enter the back? It does me, man. Back of my mind, I'm like, I'm going to fucking get these on clearance in no time.
Probably, but it's FOMO syndrome,
Yeah.
There's always going to be that one that's somehow going to be rare. That one time, and then one time you don't buy it, this was the rarest wave of Star Wars figures of all time.
Like, Fuck.
Like when Rebels came out, that line was impossible to find. I seen them once. Is the time I bought them. I've never seen them again. So if you were like, oh, they'll go on clearance like everything else, now you're paying $50 a figure. So you win some, you lose some. In the end, it evens out.
Man.
Enough of that.
What else you got?
I don't know. Do you want to get into trailers or comics? Take your pick.
Let's do trailers.
All right. Dorby, you win.
What do I win?
Nothing, because you hate gifts.
No, I like gifts. But don't wait till fucking Christmas to give me something I needed in May, okay? That makes zero fucking sense. And don't buy me something and say, I got you this, but you have to wait till Christmas. What? Give it to me now.
That's what she said. So we got to talk Avengers Endgame. New trailer came out.
I hope it's the end.
It's not. It might as well be called The Beginning. This is basically Walking Dead, where it's the end of the beginning, right? Like what Rick said or Andrew Lincoln said. It's the end of the beginning. That's what this is. But the trailer, I mean, they announced it as a trailer. They didn't announce it as a teaser, so I was expecting more. But it's so clearly just a teaser.
Yeah, it's not like no.
Nothing happens.
And it was a teaser. And it didn't really leave me like wowed enough to be like, give me a full trailer. You know, it was just, okay.
The only thing I got out of it, I was kind of like, all right, cool. You told me the name of the movie, which is everyone was wondering.
Yeah. And I think there wasn't one thing in there. I was not surprised at one part in that movie at all. Not one.
No.
Not Hawkeye, Ronin, not Scott Lang, nothing. Nothing surprised me about it. Nothing surprised me that Tony Stark's sitting around in his ship feeling sorry for himself and being morose and everything. Pepper, fuck that. Did nothing for me.
Where do you think Salt's at? Can you cue up the Salt and Pepper song right now? That's too much. That's too much for him. He's like, if it's not Grateful Dead, I don't know.
Exactly. Or gangster rap, okay?
Push it real good. All right. But
I think I need a break. You didn't even see what this fucker did.
I was thrusting my hips in his face. Push it. Ugh.
All right, first off, you're not in my face. You're across the room.
I guess I just wish I was in your... I'm force projecting myself into your face.
You're force projecting your cock into my facial area.
I don't know if it's really early or really late at this point, so bear with us. But, I mean, you talked about Ronin. That was speculated for months.
Right.
And what I thought was funny is his first appearance as Ronin is New Avengers 11. But Ronin in the book, Ronin is just like a title for basically ninja. It's not a particular person. It's an entity.
Right, it's multiple characters portray.
Right, like a Darth.
Right.
So everyone's buying this New Avengers 11. It's not Hawkeye as Ronin. Hawkeye as Ronin is New Avengers 27. That's his first appearance as Ronin. So I just find it funny that everybody's buying the wrong fucking book. So both of them spiked in price to like $30-$40, but 11's been outselling 27 for some reason. And this just goes to what you always say. People put it in a movie. Now all of a sudden it's popular.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're buying. Like,
and this just
research.
And this just leads me to know that this shit's going to tank, man. So if you have this, I personally think if you have multiple copies, sell the shit now while it's hot. Of course.
100%. Nobody is ever spec'd well on costumes. Like Hulkbuster and stuff, they tank every time.
Yeah. But
Black Superman tanked.
And I think like I said, nobody gave a shit. I always go back to fucking Rocket Raccoon, okay? And nobody gave a shit about the motherfucker in a fucking movie. Oh, look at that. Bang, it shoots up. This Ronin thing, it shoots up for no fucking reason, dude. I mean, a trailer comes out and you knew about this. Anybody who didn't know that this character was coming in this movie, I don't know. Maybe you haven't been watching fucking pop culture media in the last, I don't know, 6 months. You knew it was fucking coming out. You knew the character was coming. And all of a sudden, bang, this comes out. 20 years, these books are not obviously not going to hold what they're holding up to now.
I guess there's so many people that don't know because every one of these books, every movie always sells. So there's obviously this whole group of people that don't pay attention until the trailer drops.
Does it sell now, but when the movies are not popular anymore? Because I honestly don't know yet because we're only 10 years in. And I already don't think some of the movies hold up for me. These movies, are they going to hold up 40 years from now? Do they have that staying power?
I don't even know if it's a question of the holding up thing, but they don't sell after the movie because there's always a next movie and people are always on to the next thing. So it's like, I don't have time to buy the old book.
Fad.
I got to buy the new book that's now hot.
Yeah, it's a fad thing. Whatever, and that's part of our culture. Whatever's popular at the moment, that's what you have to have then and there. That stupid Chewbacca mask, case in point.
But the other thing you mentioned with the Tony Stark being in space, another book that everyone's specking on is first appearance of Rescue, which is Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper as basically in an Iron Man costume. And in the trailer, he specifically says, I need someone to rescue me. So is that a cue for Pepper to show up? I think so. I think they specifically said rescue in a certain way.
Yeah.
But other people are saying maybe that's just where Miss Marvel's going to come in.
Right. That's what I read as speculation, too. It's Miss Marvel.
So either one I'd be cool with, but people are really hitting on Rescue. So
if it hits on Rescue and say she does it, what is it?
I already have all these books because they're new modern books.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't affect me one way or the other. Hopefully they go up so I have them. But
I mean, I think she definitely. I think she gets into the suit though. I don't know if she goes and rescues Tony Stark. Here's someone who's isn't familiar with this stuff as Tony is. She's going to go out into some. How fucking far away is he in space?
I don't know. Well, it's all controlled by Jarvis, so he could program it or send a beacon or something.
I guess.
Autopilot, you know.
That's true love, though. To go that many million light years away in a suit.
I wouldn't cross the street for you.
But you did bring me my cane at the Comic-Con.
That's true. So
you do
I try to act
You
tough,
do have a heart.
But the other thing, I mean, with the title, I heard a lot of speculation that it might have been called Annihilation, which there is pretty popular comic, and that gets really into the cosmic part of Marvel. So if they would have called it Annihilation, maybe that would have led into the next phase, which everyone's saying is going to be Nova and the Eternals. It would have made sense. So, like I said, the only thing I got out of that trailer was the name. It's Endgame, not Annihilation, but it wasn't shocking by any means.
And now the Snap has a name.
I didn't see that. What is it?
The Decimation.
The Decimation, eh?
Which I guess was in some book. And it just came, I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something that someone said that. But I think that goes to, was it some X-Men line? Who was it that took the powers? Who took the powers away from
House of M? Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. Okay.
No more mutants, and everybody loses their powers. But that has nothing to do with Thanos or anything.
No, but that was called the Decimation too, as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I know the story House of M, but I don't remember.
I think that was called Decimation as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, peeps. All right, but why are you borrowing from that? Come up with a new fucking name. Be original.
It's called a gripe. The Snap. What's it matter?
The Snatch?
Yeah.
Huh.
But this trailer has already, in 24 hours, it had 289 million views. They almost have as many views as we have listeners.
Almost.
You know that's fucking impressive then.
Yeah. Someday they'll catch up to us.
Yeah, they're halfway there. But they're expected to make $2 billion on this movie.
I expect that.
Again, almost what we make in our Patreon.
Yeah. And we'd like to thank our loyal listeners for, supporting us. What does that say, though? 280 million people watch this in 24 hours. Now, this is worldwide, right?
Right, yeah, just total.
Like, are that many people sucked into it? Were that many people, really love this that much? And it's crazy because it's new, It's not like something was put away like Star Wars and brought back. Because Force Awakens trailer, I don't have numbers on that, but that had a lot of fucking views.
It was YouTube. Like #1 at the time. Yeah. So,
But we hadn't had a movie in so fucking long. Wow, holy shit, it's been 10 years. Wow, great. Now this, like, is this a fanboy? Is this a lemming thing? Is this truly, wow, we are so sucked up into this and interested? Like,
I think it's option C, because do you know anyone that's not going to see it?
No.
That's what so it's everyone's interested.
Man.
And what I told you at work was when all these characters come back to life, the entire audience is going to stand up in fucking cheers like it's their favorite rock concert. And it's like, that's perfect for Marvel. It's good writing on their end. But to have such an audience and to have such a following that people are cheering your movie, that's pretty powerful.
Now, the thing that I don't know. I'm fucking realistic. They're coming back, idiots. Okay,
but nobody knows.
Anybody who fucking cried at the end of that movie and thinks that Peter Parker is not coming back, stop watching the fucking movies. All right. If you had to go to grief counseling over the first part, which was not marketed as a 2-part movie, by the way, if you had to
false marketing, fuckers.
If you had to go to grief counseling, get a fucking grip and a fucking life. All right. Stop going to Hot Topic every fucking weekend. Stop fucking hanging out the mall.
Where am I going to get my pops? I was like, come on.
Your mom gets them for you anyway.
Don't diss Hot Topic. Just bought socks there yesterday. They were Pennywise socks. They're cool.
You bought Pennywise socks?
Yeah.
Are you going to wear them?
Absolutely. Well, I'm not going to hang them on the wall like you do with your packaged underoos over here.
Hey, underoos rock.
Where were you going with this?
I don't know. You're fucking distracted.
But you're saying get a grip. But I asked my cousin-in-law, I was like, what did you think of that trailer?
Is that a fucking thing?
I don't know. I made it up if not.
All right.
It's my wife's cousin, so therefore cousin-in-law.
All right, it works.
But I was like, she has no interest in these movies outside of, I just watch them. And I was like, what did you think of the trailer? Oh, I was ready to cry. So here's a person that doesn't know nothing about the books, but that's pretty much...
Well, yeah.
It's like 90% the audience, let's face it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're getting people to cry. So... I don't know. I don't think most people know they are coming back.
Good point, but I think if you knew anything, if you did watch Spider-Man Homecoming, you know the timeline. Therefore, you know he has to come back. That makes zero sense. It makes zero sense that Black Panther would not come back. That was totally left wide open. Every Marvel movie is left wide open. Every single one. None of them are finite. Which I hope with this fucking movie, something's fucking finished for once.
I just think it's one of these things that we're in too deep.
I don't know, man. I'm on.
But
yeah, for me, not for you.
Are you in yet? What's going on?
I never hear that from your mom, by the way.
No. I just think we're too far into it.
We may be, and I don't even read Marvel books. I just know a little bit. But I'm also smart enough to read, some sites. If you're into pop culture, I think you're going to some sites and reading things and you see things pop up on your feed here and there.
If you're listening to this, you're pretty diehard into pop culture, obviously. Yeah. So you're one of the people, like, we research the stuff. We talk about it on a daily basis. We fight about it. I don't think general people are throwing fists over Marvel versus DC, but.
True. Good point. I'm still going to stand by a little bit of common sense. Use common sense, people.
So what's next? The other trailer I really wanted to hit on, which was so much better than this one, I thought. Yes. The Brightburn trailer.
Wow. That's a fucking trailer, dude. Telling you.
Awesome.
It does what a trailer should do. It gives you just enough that you know what's kind of happening, but leaves you wanting more. And isn't that what you want from a trailer?
Absolutely.
And it fucking does that to a T. I think anybody who's putting out a trailer, watch this. Or putting out a movie, watch this trailer. This is how your fucking trailer should be. And I think that runs the gamut of any fucking company out there putting out a movie. Anybody.
And this
fantastic.
Is from James Gunn, which I like how he's allowed to make this movie, but he can't make Guardians. I know different company, but it's funny how one company cares, the other doesn't.
Well, this is probably done beforehand anyway, so...
No one's boycotting this movie because James Gunn's name's on it.
Nobody.
And the trailer even says from the creative mind, James Gunn, real big. Yeah. So they're like purposely showing James Gunn.
From the creative director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, from the Me Too movement hater, James Gunn. I mean, they're purposely advertising him, so it's not like they're even trying to hide it. But basically, this movie is it's Superman. It's a Superman ripoff, no doubt about it. It's what if Superman was a bad person.
Yes. And what a great concept.
Yeah, because that's what actually would have made Superman cool instead of being the dork he is.
Don't diss.
It's a whole nother topic for a different day.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's not go there. That's what does make it a really great story. Is everybody know this is what's going to make this a great movie. Everybody knows the story of Superman. Alien crash lands on Earth, adopted by parents who can't have kids, and voila, he's like the American hero. Truth, justice, and the American way. Now the same thing happens to another farm family in the middle of bumfuck Kansas, whatever.
If they took the beginning of Superman Returns and just put it in this trailer, you would know no difference.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But everybody knows the fucking story, and then instead of going down the path of light, we go down the path of darkness.
It has a really cool horror element, I think, to it. So I'm excited. Superheroes meet darkness, awesome.
I think anytime you do that, it's a good thing because we're so into this positive, bubbly. There's always an ending, happy ending. The good guys win. Let's see where this movie fucking takes us.
I love happy endings.
Yeah, but you have to pay for them. I do not.
Well, you wouldn't pay yourself. Buzzing.
Anyway.
Yeah, so this is releasing Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So check out the trailer if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, let us know what you think about it.
I think it's awesome. I'm excited.
I am excited too because it's fucking different. That's what makes a good movie. It's different.
So outside of that, I'll hit the comics.
All right.
So I just wanted to give out like a comic recommendation because we've been asked for this from listeners before. It's Christmas time. I think a book that probably nobody knows about is A Very Zombie Christmas.
Oh, I was going through my collection upstairs yesterday and I found it.
It's cool. It's 5 issues. They came out yearly, so it's 5-year long run, but one per Christmas. And it's basically Santa Claus as like a zombie eating people, or it's like mini stories within. So every book is different. Some have crazy ass elves, but it's all zombie based horror revolving around Christmas. Awesome.
Okay.
And they're on mycomicshop.com. They're like $5 to $10. They're cool reads. So that's my recommendation for the holiday season.
Good recommendation.
And then the other thing I posted on Facebook, Lehigh Valley Comic Con has gotten really good.
I'm glad that you like it now because you hated it for so long.
Well, was that this dinky ass fire hall, and then the roof collapsed in.
Yeah.
So they had to move locations, and that was probably the greatest thing that ever happened to them. The location's so much better. There's so much more room. They're getting better and bigger dealers. There were so many dealers there that had just boxes and boxes of comics. No toys, no bullshit posters or trinkets.
See, that's so different than when I went earlier this year. It's the complete fucking opposite, man. Because when I was there, it was just that 50-cent fucking bin, that guy from the fucking flea market. There was some dude, I think, from New York who I bought a lot of shit off of. Another local store, and everything out. And there was like a store from up north. That was it. Everybody else was rinky-dink, pop figures, swords, crafts, everything.
It was so different.
So you lucked out, man. Now I got to go to the next one.
There was like 10 dealers with shitloads of $1 or 50-cent boxes.
Yeah, no.
The one guy from New York had 50-cent Bronze Age books. So I was picking out Star Wars and all kinds of like older DC books. And he had a lot of like the horror mystery books. 50 cents? Fuck yeah, I'm buying those.
Wow. I wish I went.
And then there was a lot of dealers from New York and from Philly that made the trip. Now, I don't know if it's because it's around the holiday. They're like, hey, I think people will buy because they're in a spending mood. I don't know. But the Philly guy always buy off from all his shows down in Philly. And that's where I bought my wall book. So I finally got a Jessica Jones, first appearance. I got the Deadpool 1 and then that Thanos book. So there was good wall books. There was good like $10 to $20 books, you know, if you want like silver, Bronze Age stuff. And then there was good modern stuff for 50 cents to $1.
That's so much better than when I went.
It was awesome. It was the best show I've been to in years. Like, you could buy anything you wanted.
I officially hate you, but...
I pulled that iZombie #1 out of $1 bin, too. That was awesome.
Crazy.
So, good finds.
So much better. And
I don't know. It's just a good atmosphere.
When's the next one? Like February?
February, yeah. So, I'll probably check it out again.
Yeah, I'll go. If it sucks, I'm going to hate you so much more.
I highly recommend it based on the last one. It's just such good stuff. I ran out of money for once. I was like, I could have bought 3 times what I bought, and I just ran out of money. But there was that many good books. I'm like, oh, that's a $50 book for 10. I can only buy so many until you run out.
Yeah. So does this actually mean that you should hit the show no matter what? Because when I went, it was shit. When we used to go to the Firehouse, it was so hit and miss. And you even said, you're like, I'm done with this fucking show. It's so rinky dink. I'm fucking done. I'm tired of going through these boxes they're not even in order. It's just so mishmashed. Like, you bitched about it a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but I love digging through that 50-cent bin. You never know what you're going to find, whether it's fillers or a $50 book. You can find something if you really dig. But that was like the allure to it, you know? The other dealers there were okay.
Yeah, and the guy always has the same books. It's just a matter of like what takes off since the last time. So I pulled like the first Batwoman, which now she's in this Elseworlds thing. Mm-hmm. He had it in there. It's probably been in there for years. But since it just took off, I'm like, now's the golden time to buy it. But
so should when you think a show is shit, should you give it another shot at least? I guess so.
I'll never give Water Gap another chance.
Oh, no.
So not all these shows are going to turn around.
And in the Allentown one.
So, I mean, this took a different venue.
But they've been there for at least a year.
Yeah.
And so it took almost a year for them to really get to that point. To get to that point. All right, I'll hit it next time. So, Friday... I get to work. Who's not there? This mofo. I'm like, what the fuck? And the night before, I get the text from the local comic shop. The dollar books are out. I'm like, that motherfucker calls in sick to go get his fucking comic books. And then I look on your calendar and it says vacay. And I'm like, now this is where luck plays a hand, because you had no clue when you went on vacation that they were going to put books out on that Friday. So you did luck out.
Now, is it luck or is it somewhat selective planning? Because here's the situation.
No, it's completely luck.
Last time I was in there, he told me it'd probably be middle of December when he put new books out, which is why I took off Wednesday. Because I thought last time he put them out Wednesday. So I was like, I did feel like shit with my...
No, I don't think so.
My JJ juice. I felt like shit. And
no,
I'm
like... You just didn't feel like working.
So I was like, yeah, I'll take it in case they put out books.
No, I don't think so.
And then I'm like, I'm always going to take off a Friday, so what the fuck?
No, that's just fate, luck, whatever. So...
Is it fate, luck, or a curse?
For you, it's fate, luck, and addiction. Okay, it's a curse for me. Because I always miss out on this shit. And I told you, I'm like, I don't want to see a fucking picture from you. You were already ripping on me. You're texting me. I'm like, I'm sitting in the parking lot 15 minutes ahead. Of course I'm here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you motherfucker.
I was nice enough to offer this guy, information and say, hey, Poe vehicles are on sale at Ross for $7. Which
I already had. So didn't fucking help me.
I didn't know. Offer information. And then he's the one that says, well, are you going to Jeff? And I'm like, well, I'm going to respond back. Yes, I am. I'm not going to lie about it.
Of course I am. I'm a true fan. You suck. Fuck you, dude. You had no fucking clue. It was that exact day. It was luck. You played the cards. You gambled. That's what you did. You gambled on it and you lucked out. Okay. That's the luck part. Because if it wasn't that day, you'd be like, at least I got these things at Ross. And I went to fucking Ross yesterday. Dude, I walked in and walked out. The line was like 100 people deep. I didn't even care if they had the most hardest to find figure. There was no way I was waiting in line with that many people.
That's when you just steal them. Workers aren't even paying attention. The line's so long, they're just trying to fly. You just put shit in your pocket. That's what I do.
Well, I have something else taking up that much room in my pants. I can't stuff much down there.
Yeah, your gut.
Oh, you fucking asshole. That lays on top. You would think that would cover up what I'm trying to steal.
It's like a food. Well, you could put it in your pouch.
I'm like a fucking kangaroo. So
I don't even know where we were.
Your comic book. So what I got to ask, because whenever you go to this fucking store, usually the Arch-Nemesis is there. Was he there this time?
He was at the second location.
Oh, he wasn't at the first.
So I get the first one. There's one other guy there. Nice and smooth. Great. There's nobody there really. No pressure to dig. That guy was totally clueless. He left after like 2 minutes. I don't even think he was there for that. He just happened to show up when it opened. And I got to dig through the boxes by myself. I pulled like a first Purple Man, a first Taskmaster. I pulled about, I don't know, 60 books there. And, walk away with like $1,000 worth of books for $60. All kinds of first appearances, $20 books, whatever. I'm like, great. I go do some Christmas shopping after. I hit the other store at 1 o'clock.
All right.
I get there. He's not there yet. So I'm like, nice. This is the location.
So you're like, always maybe he's back in jail.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't you know? 5 minutes later, he comes strutting in because he's fucking stuck in traffic.
Does he have a strut? Like, does he have...
He walks like an ogre. It's kind of like a Shrek walk. He's kind of like...
Oafy?
Yeah, but he's not fat. But he just I guess he walks like he thinks he's a tough guy, basically.
All right. Well, he does beat on his wife, so...
So he walks in. And what's annoying about this guy, he talks from the time he shows up to the time he leaves. He just does not stop talking. And it's not that he just talks, but he's one of those guys who shouts. So he sounds like he's constantly drunk. And he's getting there, and the first thing, hey, it's just at the other store. I pulled all these $50 books. I guess there was like a third store, a different comic entity, and he was saying he got hooked up with privileged information that they put new stuff out. And he was getting all these books for sale.
Who would invite this guy into their store?
So apparently he got all these books, and he's bragging the whole time about, I got this for $1. It's worth $100, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, last week I pulled a Captain Marvel or Avenging Spider-Man 9, first Captain Marvel for $50. I sold it for $200 within an hour, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. I do the same shit. I don't even care about that.
No, you don't resell your shit.
I don't resell it, but I'm pulling books for spec value. I don't care. That's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
But then when he's in there and he's like, it's like a fucking meat market in here. And I'm like, all he does is curse. And I'm like, I don't do that in public. As much as we curse on here, I don't go to the store and just curse. Yeah, it's a fucking meat market in here. You got fucking 10 guys, but no one works? And he goes, I haven't had a job in 10 years, but I thought other people worked. I'm like, okay, you haven't had a... So no, the whole time he talks, nobody responds to this guy, right? He's just yelling. And there is like 10 other people there. So every box had somebody at it, which was shocking to me as well. But then he's like, yeah, I haven't done a job in 10 years.
So it's kind of like your mom's box.
10 guys just lined up. The Houston 500, remember that? But, so he's just talking, and then he's like, yeah, I sell shit on Amazon. He's like, but Amazon kicked me off because I was using their drop boxes for locations. I wouldn't even ship through Amazon, but I just dropped my stuff off in their box, and then people would pick it up there. So now they banned me. And then I'm banned from eBay for returning too much stuff, and I'm banned from mycomicshop.com. I'm like, why are you banned from all these places? Because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, now that I'm getting some more books, I'm just going to have all these broads I know. I'm like, who uses the word broads for one? I'm going to get all these broads I know to just order my shit and ship it down Amazon. I'll use them. And he's like, yeah, I don't need a job. I hooked up with this chick when I got out of jail, and her current husband was in jail. So I just lived with her while he was in jail. And then he's like, I just move around from place to place. I don't even have to, pay bills or nothing. I got these broads that just hook me up. He goes, I make $36,000 a year. I'm like, well, he said he goes, I make $3,000 a month. And I'm like, that's really not that much. It's $36,000 a year. Like, that's not something I'd be like bragging about. I mean, it's a lot for doing nothing, but it's not like you're a fucking baller either.
This guy's a fucking winner, dude.
So, and then he's talking, all about the Amazon situation. He goes, huh. And then this broad calls me on the phone, like I'm going to talk to a chick as an authoritative figure. He's like, give me a break. What's she going to tell me about him? I'll do what I want. I'm like, you are the most sexist, like, asshole person I've ever seen in my life. Like, if there was anyone who could just have died in a car accident on their way from leaving that store, I wish it was him. I just fucking hate the guy.
So what is, like, does the staff ever say anything?
Well, no one says anything, but I got to the counter, and she rolled her eyes at me, and I rolled them back like, it was that look, can you believe this fucking guy?
I'd fucking ban him from the fucking store.
Other people that are digging, they're just like, everyone's just like shaking their head like, can you believe this guy?
There's always that one asshole that talks, brags, does shit, you know, kind of like you.
Yeah.
And annoys the fuck out of people. And you know he's leaving going, I'm the best collector in that store. I beat them in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just thinks he's so much better. Dude, you're fucking trash. You're white trash.
He is the epitome of it. Next. And then he's like, I saw half the books were like folded over because they were like stored in a storage locker, cold and damp or whatever. They're like half full. What fucking idiot doesn't put stuff in bag and board? This is gravity, yo. Gravity, this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? He's like one of those guys. Every word's yo, and you know what I'm saying, yo? Gravity, you got to put bags and boards on this shit. Like, it's fucking, this stuff junk. And then he pulls like 10 Bishop books that were of the same condition he was just bitching about. Yo, I just pulled 10 Bishop #1s, man. This shit gonna be $20 all day long. I'm like, yeah, I left them there. I already seen them, but they were fucking folded in half. Good luck, $20, dude. I couldn't handle it. I got 10 books from there. I was out in under 15 minutes. I could not listen to them any fucking more.
That text made my day when you're like, I couldn't take it anymore. I ran into the Arch-Nemesis. I'm done.
Done. I couldn't handle it.
How many teeth does a motherfucker have? Does he have a full set?
No. He's the most awkward looking guy because he like cuts his hair. It's like kind of a mohawk, but not really. It's like he's bald on the side. It's the opposite of like.
I think he has mange. Maybe.
It's like a reverse Friar Tuck.
What?
I don't know. And then he always wears these like, it's fucking wintertime in Pennsylvania. You don't need to wear a tank top. And then the sides are also cut down. You know what I mean? So it's basically
the 80s metal.
You look like Mike Tyson with just wearing the towel into the ring. Like, that's what he wears.
Yeah, the 80s metal tank top.
But he's not jacked. I mean, he's like a regular guy.
Unbelievable.
You can't sell enough comics to afford a fucking coat.
I'm glad I've only ran into him that one time. Because I would say, shut the fuck up. So I don't know. I'd probably be in jail.
Next time, I'm setting my phone to record, and we're going to play it on the podcast.
Perfect.
I didn't come up with this idea till I left.
I was going to tell you.
I was so fucking angry.
I was going to tell you, dude, next time you got to record. I was thinking the same fucking thing.
Yeah. So
what? No, you know what you do? Let's interview him for the podcast. That's what you do. Because you get the permission to use it, and you'll just sound like an idiot anyway. And you can hear straight up, like, do that, dude.
I'll give him a card.
Yeah.
But what if he listens to the past episodes?
No, don't give him a card. Give him a card. Give him like a podcast of somebody else.
Man, it's just too much. That's my misadventures of the fucking comic store this week.
Oh my God.
It was not worth it.
So all the great books you got, would you have rather have gone to work than deal with this asshole?
Yes.
Well, I would not have rather have had you at work. Wow. You do have a true arch nemesis.
I can't stand
like,
this fucking.
Do you have a nickname for him yet?
No. He doesn't deserve one. The dick face, I guess.
Dick face. That's kind of, you got to come up with one. That's your goal.
All right.
That's your goal for the new year.
It's got to involve comics somehow, you know. It's got to have like a villainous name.
Oh, we could do a comic book called White Trash Comic Book Collector.
Oh, man.
So we recorded this. You heard that first. That's our comic book, okay? No stealing ideas. Copyright. December 2018.
So, yeah, that's part one of this podcast. Hit us up. Email dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com.
Check us out on Twitter. I've been twitting a lot in the last couple of weeks. We're following a lot of cool podcasts out there, too. They're supporting us. We're supporting them. So check us out at Nerdcast. Of course, on Facebook as well. You get to see Aaron's finds and stuff. And, you know, check and see what kind of activities we're doing, what movies we're watching. any kind of news. Feel free to post stuff too on our Facebook page. Got a couple of people doing that too, so appreciate that. And start a conversation.
So part two, Aquaman.
Aquaman. Lay it on me. I'm so... Usually after we go see a movie, one of us texts the other. Usually Aaron texts me first and he's like Solo, that was good. I really enjoyed it. Or like, that movie was utter trash. Or this was... I got nothing last night and I was like... I didn't want to text him because I was like, and we just didn't text. And then just today, I'm like... I get the text, we're podcasting, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, tell me what you thought of the fucking movie. And then you get here. So what'd you think? I'm saving it for the podcast.
Because I just know it's going to result in a fight.
And I knew.
Because I knew he's giving it like a fucking 11 out of 10.
I knew from probably 5 minutes in, he hated it. And I knew you would hate it. You already hated it from the trailers. So you went into this because you told me this looks like shit from the beginning.
But other movies, I thought the same about Venom. I was like, that trailer was pure garbage. I hate, like, that is not going to be good. And I really liked it.
Yeah. But so
I can adapt.
No, I don't think you can for DC movies. I still think that you have that thing in the back of your head, except for Wonder Woman, because it was Gal Gadot.
And Suicide Squad I liked.
Yeah, but didn't you renege a little bit on that?
I mean, it's not the best movie of all time. No, it's not. It's not pure trash like people say it is.
All right. So obviously you think this is pure trash.
It was the worst movie I have seen in a very, very long time.
Wow.
And I've been basically collecting movies for 20 years. And I have like 1,800 movies. This is only the second movie I have seen in theaters in 20 years that I have not bought on Blu-ray or DVD.
How can you buy it? Well, you're not going to
buy it. I will not buy this movie. The only movie that I saw and did not buy was Hannibal. This will be the second one. It was just pure shit. It was so fucking bad. I have no idea how this movie's at 76% and Venom is at 28%.
It's at 70 now. It dropped.
It should be dropping more and more. And you're like, I love it. Let's hear it.
No, I don't think it was the best ever. I think it's second best after Wonder Woman. Because I think as much as I liked Suicide Squad, we both found a lot of issues with it. I just think that this was a fun movie. I liked the cinematography in it. The underwater scene, I know you hated. You hated it in the trailer, and I know you hated it when you saw the movie. I was watching it, and I did find some parts of the CGI, which I can get into later, that I saw errors in the CGI. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but there's not any. It
wasn't even fucking capable.
No, I don't know. I think you're thinking like a perfect aquarium when you want to think underwater. So there were some cool parts of it. There were some things that weren't cool, but I can get into that too. But I don't think it was pure trash at all. Okay, I don't think it was the greatest movie, and I think it was fun. I think it's going to do pretty good.
I don't think we watched the same movie.
Obviously not, because I don't see how you can say this is the absolute garbage.
It was the most boring movie I think I've ever seen. And I went with my wife, and we both looked at each other maybe halfway, not even halfway through, and we both mouthed, boring. We were ready to leave. The movie was what, 2.5 hours, basically 2 hours, 20 minutes?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It felt like I was there all fucking day. After an hour, I'm like, can this be over? I am done with this story. There is no story. The story is two brothers feuding. Should we go to war or not? That's it. You can't drag that on for 2.5 hours. I got it. You can only talk underwater for so long. I've never been so bored. I thought the movie felt 5 hours long to me. And I hate Batman vs. Superman. That was much better than this movie.
It didn't feel long to me at all. I honestly thought that the first Infinity War felt a hell of a lot longer. You want to talk about drawn out? I thought that was a 4-hour movie. Okay.
There's no comparison.
I'm not saying quality wise. I'm saying like feeling wise. Dude, I looked in 45 minutes into Infinity War and I was like, oh my God, I'm only 45 minutes in. That had a lot of parts that dragged. Okay. I'm not saying quality-wise that it was worse. It did drag time-wise. There was a lot of action in this movie. I don't see how you
zero action.
Zero action? The whole submarine scene, the tsunami wave.
Those were a minute long a piece. Like the
they
tsunami
were not a minute long.
The tsunami was a minute.
But it all built up to shit.
It built up to them talking underwater and let's have a meeting and talk. And this is
you had the fight between Aquaman and Orm.
Which was awful.
You had a couple of battles underwater. You had that whole trench people thing.
That was at the very end of the movie.
But I just listed 6 action scenes.
And all of those took literally 20 minutes of the movie. So you had 2 hours of fucking talking.
Didn't feel like that to me, man. And the thing I really knew why you were going to hate it, when they went on the quest.
Yes, and that's where the fantasy... But I didn't even hate the movie for that. But that is where the fantasy element comes in, is that you have these different factions of people, and they have to meet. And should we go to war? Should we not? And yes, we're going to travel to this underwater world. Then we're going to go to this world. And we got to figure out these hidden maps. And
see, and that's why you don't like fantasy. So you not being a fantasy fan, but you not being a fantasy fan you're not going to like this movie at all. And I can understand why you think this is shit, because you don't like the quests. You don't like all these different things. Whereas I was like, this is pretty cool.
The quest is actually the thing I found zero fault in. Everything else about the movie is what I fucking hated. So the opening scene, like you said, you knew I'd hate it. It was the corniest fight I have ever seen.
Which one?
Him and Black Manta the first time. So they're fighting. I'm so tired. Every fight had these slow motion things happen in it 10 different times during a single fight. We're going to punch, and then it's a slow motion. And then he's going to swing the sword. Slow motion. This is fucking horrible. And then every line, and even the action of ding, he hits the wall, ding, and a buzz. And I'm like, can you just watch a fucking Marvel movie, DC, and know how to put humor into something without making it corny? It doesn't have to be a fucking cartoon. You can put humor into it. So they were like, we can't go dark. We had an era going dark. Yeah. So let's do 100% the opposite and make it fucking childish. Marvel does not do that. It was horrendous.
I didn't find it childish. I don't find it a complete 180.
Weren't childish.
Here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people, and this is why I think you already had it in your head, was when and I don't know if we talked about it before. We did. The word bonkers was used in so many.
I didn't even find the movie bonkers. I found it boring.
There were plenty of absurd parts in there, but it's fucking Aquaman. He's absurd to begin with. And what they did was took a movie that could have taken place in outer space and put it in water. Agreed. It's the same fucking thing.
Agreed.
So therefore, you're going to have these whacked out creatures that live under the sea, and they went through, and I thought they did a decent job of, when Atlantis fell, these people went here. They evolved into this. They evolved into that. And that was pretty cool.
I don't even have a problem with the creatures.
Really? I thought you would.
The only creature I couldn't stand was the crab people. I thought they were just totally stupid. And then even when they were showing close-ups of the guy talking, oh my Lord. But hey, Aquaman on a shark or on a seahorse, I don't care if he's on a seahorse. But just because
you talk about childish and you like that part,
but just because he's on a seahorse doesn't make it bonkers. Yes, there's no seahorse that you can ride. But when you're just sitting there and you're staring at each other talking, should we go to war? Should we not go to war? That's not bonkers to me. They're not fighting.
See, whereas I thought the story was set up okay. It was, you had each part. You didn't drag out the origin like fucking Iron Man was 40 fucking minutes of him stuck in a cell building a stupid suit. That took forever. We know it's fucking Iron Man. Here, we know he's Aquaman.
Incorrect.
Listen. What?
Nobody knew Iron Man before that movie. Hate to break it to you. Well, and it's the first time he ever appeared. We've already seen Aquaman.
All right. I'll take that back. We didn't know Aquaman's origin, right? Before this? Correct?
No, and they put it in sparingly.
Which I thought was good.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. That origin worked and like you had the background. He already is the Aquaman. And it was like, that's what people were calling him. It's the Aqua guy, the Aquaman. You already had that set up. His character is already set up before you even know it. And you get a little bit of the background with how was born, all this other crap. You get the little bit of the love story. You get a kick-ass fight scene with his mother. I thought that was really cool. I know you hated it because of the slow motion shit.
Here's what I hate about the fight scene as well. Not even the slow motion. The fact that they went with like a digital camera and it's spinning around the whole time. And it's so hard to follow. At certain times, the people are sideways when they're supposed to be upside down. And it's just like...
So it's something different.
Revolving around. It was fucking chaotic mess. And it should have never been shot that way. It was awful. So if that you want to call bonkers, being a chaotic mess that you can't even... focus on what's going on. Yeah, okay, it's bonkers.
I think it was focused, but it was sideways. But who the fuck cares? It's something different, dude. What do you want, the same old fucking shit?
Do you know
then
why?
Go watch another Marvel movie.
Do you know why every other movie doesn't do it? Because it doesn't fucking work. That's why nobody does it. If it worked, everybody'd be doing it.
So what I did get back to like the story. You didn't have a drawn out origin, right?
Right.
You can't say it wasn't drawn out.
Yeah, that was fine. He only kind of explains.
Yeah, everything was explained through a dialogue that was short, sweet, to the point, which I thought worked great. I don't need to have this fucking origin story, which I'm starting to get tired of in the Marvel movies. I don't know Doctor Strange's origin, but I don't need it drawn out, But
if you want to call, in a way, the entire movie was an origin. Because he's not king until the end. So it's the origin is him becoming king, not him becoming learning his powers.
Right. But that's what a lot of, I think, the Marvel type, you have a lot of learning to use your powers, becoming that character. He already is the character. And I like that aspect. And I would have no issues with any comic company going that way in the future. Really. I just think it's kind of cool. Cut through the bullshit kind of thing. It's set up, the Black Manta I thought was set up good. You got the reason why he wanted the revenge, and here's just Aquaman doing the right thing, by defeating these pirates, he just wanted to do the right thing. And he inadvertently causes the death of the dude's father. And I thought that set up the Black Manta good. Right. And you had all the elements pieced together good. So I can't see how that's not good writing. It is good writing.
You're not revenging his dad. Okay. That happens a lot. It's typical. I don't have a problem with it one way or the other. That was fine.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fine and good elements to it. And yeah, it's a classic story of two brothers fighting for control of a kingdom. Yeah. That's the fantasy aspect. And again, you don't like fantasy, you're not going to like it. That's why you don't like it.
I didn't like it because nothing happened in the movie. Extremely boring. The CGI. Now, when I'm watching this, and I'm like, it is 100% the underwater effects that Episode 1, Phantom Menace, had when they go to meet the Gungans. That movie was fucking 1999. In 20 years, you have not been able to make a better underwater world. I'm sorry, your movie is fucking dog shit. The vehicles were some of the worst things I have ever seen in my life. The underwater thing where it was just these muted colors, very like, I don't know, it was like faded looking.
See, I didn't have a problem.
It did not work for me.
I didn't have a problem with the fade.
The wispy hair was way overdone.
See, I didn't mind that. And actually what I liked was the detail, even in the side of Orm's hair moved because you're underwater. Like,
the floating was in a way that no one has ever floated before in their life.
It's a fucking movie. It's a comic book movie. You already just said there's no life-size seahorses to ride. Yeah, it's a fucking movie, dude. But when it's a comic book.
When Superman flies, he looks like he's fucking flying. I'll give him credit for that. When these people look like they're swimming, it does not look like they're swimming at all. Like the fucking physics are so bad. The whole underwater world was garbage. It was CGI from 20 years ago. It was Phantom Menace. That's pathetic.
I likened it to, it was like the whole world. I liked the world underneath in that, and I know you hate Avatar. It reminded me of Avatar underwater.
Actually, I compared this movie to Avatar, and both me and my wife said, now if this movie looked like Avatar, that would have been amazing. Avatar?
It was below par of Avatar, absolutely.
Avatar, and again, that movie's 10 years old. Avatar blows this fucking movie away. And I'm not a fan of Avatar. I don't even really like it.
Yeah, you hate it.
And that movie blows Aquaman away in terms of CGI. If you want to make a world like that, I could buy into it. I believed in that world. This is a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's not even a fucking movie.
So you kind of want a movie that feels like a cartoon, but not look like a cartoon. When it
I don't want a cartoon feel at all.
But you want a comic book feel. Comic books are cartoons on pages.
And how does every other movie do it? How does Marvel do it 20 times and DC's done it
How does
twice?
Marvel do it the same 20 fucking times, is what you're saying. They have their formula, you know that, and they stick to it.
DC needs to steal the formula then, dude. Steal it. I don't care what you do.
I thought the writing was decent in the movie as far as setting up the story. No, it wasn't the most involved plot, but I don't think any comic book movie has a super involved plot that makes you go, They're not philosophical fucking movies. They're movies to go and have fun. Check your head at the door. Go watch the movie. That's what you're doing with this movie. Check your head at the fucking door. If you want to be super critical about it, which we are, then you're going to fucking hate it or love it. I don't love it, but I don't fucking hate it either. I think it was a fun movie. It entertained me. I thought Mira was cool. I liked her.
She was fine. Yeah, no problems.
I thought the chemistry between her and Momoa, once it got going, was fine. I thought they worked well together.
It was forced.
I don't think it was forced. I thought it worked well. I liked the whole Indiana Jones type. It wasn't drawn out. It was that part of the movie. That's the thing. This movie had sections when pieced together worked. And it was simple. It was a simple story. Yeah, it doesn't have to be fucking complicated.
The other thing that really fucking annoyed me, the costumes and shit in this movie were horrendous. These people that were with Black Manta, they looked straight out of a Power Rangers episode. There's no doubt about it. You can't dispute that. Those people in those red costumes.
Oh, the red.
Even the white ones. I thought I was watching Power Rangers.
I thought it was more like a Halo for me.
Well, I could agree with Master Chief. I agree. That's bad. It was really bad.
I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was great. I'm not going to say you're not going to get bad or terrible out of me because I had a good time watching the movie.
Black Manta could have been the most underutilized character of probably any comic book movie ever. He was probably the only good thing in the movie, and he's in it for 5 minutes. Basically, the scene that they showed of the trailer of them jumping rooftop to rooftop, that's the entirety of Black Manta.
There's a little bit more to it than just jumping on the rooftops.
That was 90% of his movie.
But
he's in it for 5 minutes, and he's the best character, and he's supposed to be your villain, but really the villain's the brother.
Yeah, that is the whole fucking point.
I would have rather had Black Manta. You killed the best thing in the movie.
This is the whole thing. It's you said the whole movie's an origin movie of him becoming king. He becomes king because of his brother and what his brother has done, not because of what Black Manta's done. Black Manta stole the submarine, gave it to Orm, sets up the whole thing that the surface dwellers fucking attack so Orm can start the war to the surface, right? Okay.
All right, and I could have got that in 5 minutes. I'd rather have Black Manta for the other 2 hours and 20.
Yeah, but that wasn't the story of this movie. And I think that Black Manta was the side villain for a reason. And when you watch the mid-scene credits, you find out.
Yeah, he's of course alive.
We
all knew that.
Yeah, of course he's going to be alive. And the second movie, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a second movie. They've already talked about it.
I will not watch it.
And Black Manta will be a bigger character in the next movie. Possibly sets up a Legion of Doom. I don't know, but makes sense. And even so, even if it doesn't set up Legion of Doom to fight in Aquaman 2 or something, it sets up furthering Black Manta's character in a second movie. Maybe he contacts, I don't know, another villain of some sort, gets in touch with Lex Luthor, who knows, builds that. So then after you have the Aquaman, if there's ever a Flash movie, if there's ever a Batman movie, then you bring in a real Justice League and Legion of Doom, and then it can work. It's set up another movie fine. Black Manta will be in another movie, and you will get your character that you want. I thought he was awesome. I thought the Black Manta costume was great. I liked how he put it together. He took apart the Atlantean technology and rebuilt it. The dude's smart, and that was a great scene when he was doing that. It was funny. He almost blew his head off.
It wasn't fun. I liked the scene, but it was not funny.
Well, it was when he almost blew his head off. But it was a little bit lighthearted. It was comic booky. I liked it. It was short. Everything in this movie was short, sweet, to the point, and that's what worked for me. That's all I needed. That's why it worked.
I thought all the cool stuff was short, sweet, to the point, and then you drew it out with these long-ass conversations underwater of, can we deceive the current leader? How are we going to overtake him? It was so boring, dude. Like, you should have drawn out the good parts of the movie and made it half the fucking movie.
That's part of a fantasy movie, though. You have these parts, and they do talk. That's why I'm saying you don't like those movies, dude.
Boring.
That's why you don't like those movies.
The comedy in it was bad. When these underwater creatures, basically, they have water in their costumes. He gets cut open. He puts his head in a toilet to survive. Stupid.
If that was in a Marvel movie, you would have laughed.
No.
Yeah, you would.
No.
Yep.
I didn't laugh one time. This was basically Last Jedi humor.
You know what? I rarely laugh at movies. Any movie. I rarely laugh. So I chuckled a little bit, but I didn't laugh. I can't tell you which movie. I think Guardians 2. I laughed at a couple parts.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But
that's funny.
Honestly, I rarely laugh at a Marvel movie. It's not fucking funny. It's humorous, but it's not laugh out loud funny. It's not a comedy movie.
But Ant-Man, you have claimed in the past, is hilarious.
It is funny. Doesn't mean that I laughed out loud, but I found it funny. And that is...
Can't say nearly the same for Aquaman.
No, because they are two fucking different movies, asshole. They are two different movies.
Yeah, one's good, one's bad.
Ant-Man is a comedy. It's a comedy comic book movie.
Don't put comedy into Aquaman at all. Don't try to be something you're not. And they tried to be.
No, they did not try to be a comedy comic book movie.
Then why
it was a comic book movie with a couple of jokes in there. And that's what every fucking Marvel movie does.
There was
hands down
10 failed jokes. So hey, call it what you want.
You know what?
10 failed
jokes. I don't know.
Jokes.
I can't tell. I've never laughed at a Tony Stark quip. Never. Because he's a fucking douche.
That's what's classic about it.
That's you're the douche.
The other thing that was one of the worst things I've ever heard or seen in a movie, the soundtrack was one of the most atrocious things I have ever heard. The songs that they picked were terrible. The background music was horrible. I have never wanted to rip my fucking ears off more. It was horrendous.
And I am the complete opposite because except for the songs
were so bad.
When they're
talking in fucking Italy, that whatever that song was, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know what and there was like the little bit of electronic shit thrown in. I was like, ugh, that I kind of cringed at. But the score part, I did not mind at all because I think when the action built up, that was done very well. But when they were in the fucking airplane and when they're playing Africa, I think it was Pitbull's version, and it is getting ripped apart for good reason. It fucking sucks. Why would you not use the original Toto Africa? Come on, so much better. And the pilot of the plane. Why
just use the Weezer version?
Weezer sucks.
Okay, it's one of the most #1 songs right now. Why wouldn't you stay relevant and use that instead of the song that you think sucks? And that was honestly the best song out of the songs that they chose. It was the best one, and it was bad.
I would have liked a different version.
It was bad, but it was the best of what they chose out of the 4 songs in the movie.
But the score itself, the say classical type score, I had no problem with. I thought it was good. It worked with the fucking action, and I thought it was decent. The pilot of the plane was I think he was the dude from Saw.
Tobin Bell?
No.
Lee Wainell?
Yeah, Lee Wainell.
I did not.
Yeah, I think I just read that this morning.
Take notice of that. Jango Fett looks old as shit.
I know, dude. Like, okay, did they not do a good job though with making him look younger when he was younger and making Willem Dafoe look younger when he was younger? They did a good job.
Now, William Dafoe, I did not notice him looking younger at all. I would say Jenga, and I thought Nicole Kidman looked fucking terrible. That was another part of the terrible CGI
when she was younger.
Yes, she looked horrendous.
I don't think she looked horrendous.
It's my word of the podcast, horrendous.
Better than Regardless.
But I thought Jenga looked good. I don't know, but they probably cut his face off of episode 2.
I like that. And
I didn't notice William Dafoe even being younger, honestly.
You might have fallen asleep.
But William Dafoe, I don't know if it was bad casting. He is always a bad guy. And the entire time, I'm just expecting him to turn face on this, and he never does.
How is that bad casting?
Because he's always played a villain, always. And you just expect them to be a bad guy.
That's your problem.
Cast as a good guy is bad casting.
No, it's not. It's your problem.
Okay, I did talk to like 4 other people about this movie. They all thought the same thing.
That's because people have things stuck in their head and you can't fucking look out.
Look, that's part of casting. That's
why
so
people we just watched that Brightburn trailer, and there are 2 people in there that normally do comedic roles. Must be a funny fucking movie then.
It's going to be hard. Hey, I had a hard time watching Jim in Quiet Place. When he's talking serious, I expect him to be saying zingers.
So it was hard for me to get through. So it's the same fucking thing. So you're probably going to hate that fucking movie.
It's possible.
You can't think like that.
I had no problem with Momoa as Aquaman. For one, he's not even really developed too much. We don't get to know Aquaman so much.
That's a total twist from what you were saying before.
Exactly. So
you said that was the worst casting ever. It fucking sucks. Exactly. He doesn't have blonde hair, which he does have blonde highlights. So there's a compromise there. But you hated him as a pick from day fucking one.
I did. And that's why I'm saying I'm open-minded with the movie. I had no problem going into it and trying to like it. And he wasn't actually. I had no issue with him one way or the other. He was fine. He wasn't.
I thought he was good.
Anything like amazing, like oh my god.
No,
he was perfect for it. He wasn't Margot Robbie or Gal Gadot. No. Was he fine? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he works in the role. I think that if they continue it, he's going to be fine in it. And I think they are going to continue this. I think there will be an Aquaman 2, depending on what it does next weekend. Because obviously we saw it with the Amazon. We got tickets to Amazon a week early, so that's.
I still don't understand his Samoan origin. They lived in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
why could they not have just lived in Hawaii or whatever Pacific Island? And if you're already changing his origin of who he is, you can change where he grew up.
and you can see like in a
couple
couple parts of the movie, he does like a Samoan stance and he says a couple words.
Yeah, he does it at the end.
Yeah, he did it a couple times through the movie.
And the other thing I have to rip on this movie, they have no budget that they couldn't go on location anywhere. Everything was shot either in a studio, and everything was the worst green screen background I have ever seen in a movie. You can't even have Jango Fett walk down a real dock. It's got to be a CGI dock with the worst fake background ever. When they're on the boat and you see that horizon sun going down, you might as well have been standing in front of a TV monitor. And it's the entire movie. Every location is a fake background, and it looks ridiculous.
The thing I did like was when they cut from above the water to below, it almost looked like you were in a tank, like an aquarium, and you saw like a fine line. Like I kind of like that because it's just like, here's the surface, bang, you're underwater. It's like a very fine line. Yeah. I kind of like that. It wasn't like, it was pretty cool. You know what though? I checked my head at the door. That's what I did. And I didn't, when I started reading the reviews and like reading some reviews made no sense to me because people are like, this is just H2 okay, but they give it an 8 out of 10. If it's just an okay movie, you need to give it a 6 or a 7 or a 5. Okay. People are saying
you can check
it's more, one review said it's more seawater than bong water. Wouldn't you? And they gave it a really bad review. Wouldn't you want to say it's more bong water than seawater? I don't know. Like, I don't get that description to it.
You can check your head at the door, but the fact remains there is like 100 comic book movies at this point. It has to be compared to the other ones, and that's impossible not to do, and it should be compared because these movies do exist. And the fact that it's not comparable in any good manner says it's shit. And it makes me so much more thankful to know that Marvel does do it right. It was like, wow, Avengers, I was a little harsh on it, but compared to this, it's like that movie did nothing wrong. Like comic book movies are so easy to fuck up. And the fact that Marvel very rarely does is so astounding to them. That's all the credit in the world. To me, this was like everything that could have went wrong in an 80s superhero movie. And the reason they didn't make them back then, because you just couldn't. That's what this movie felt like. This movie's maybe should be made 20 years from now because they don't have the technology to do it. Therefore, shouldn't have done it. It was just so dated.
I don't know. We're good. This is why we're dysfunctional, because I just had a good time watching it, man. And I think people are going to have a good time. And I think because you compare it so much to the greatest fucking movies ever, Marvel movies, you're taking it.
I compared it to Batman vs. Superman, and that was so much better. Justice League.
And you hated that.
Justice League was garbage. It was so much better than this movie.
What made Justice League better? Because the CGI in that was pretty bad.
It was bad, but this was even worse. Yeah. And the fact, again, as movies come out, you should get better and better. You shouldn't either be the same.
How come you have, what was the budget on this, 150?
Something like that, yeah.
So how do you have a budget that big? Like, are you not using the best? I don't know. Like,
yeah, I think they're probably like, they don't have the Disney. Let's face it, Disney does have the best.
Right. Yeah, they have Lucasfilm. That's who does fucking effects for Marvel.
So I'm sure budget wise, like as far as salaries, their salaries are probably pretty comparable. So you have to pay this person 100,000, this person 100,000. Maybe they get 90. But when that person's twice as good as the DC people doing it, it shows. I mean, there's no way.
It might. Like I said, I don't know how many times I need to say, I had a fun time. I took my kid last night and I asked him, and there was a couple times in the show, he's just like, he's like grabbing me. He's like, look at that. He was mesmerized by it.
Now I'm making pure, speculation on this, whatever, but I have never seen more people get up and get down to go to the bathroom than I have in this movie. And I'm speculating that it's probably because they were bored and didn't think they were going to miss anything. Like, well, they're going to talk for about 10, 15 minutes. Let me hit the head. Half the audience at one point got up and out. Like,
nah, that did not happen in my theater. The only people that got up were the people that could not stop eating next to me, which I don't know why you go to a movie if you can't stop eating. They finished a bag of whatever. Literally, I was like, and they got up and got more and came back. It was every 5 minutes. So that wasn't because it was boring. It's because they're fucking pigs. Okay. That's the people that got up. Now I saw the movie where we saw Force Awakens, that theater. So, that size, that's the biggest theater that's at that AMC. The front section was empty. Okay. The back section was probably about 90% full. Well, that's a lot of fucking seats.
This was 100% sold out in mine.
And yours is smaller.
No, it was humongous.
Was it yours a big one?
Yeah. It's a big one.
I'm not saying you have a big one. Not doing it.
It was a big one. It was packed. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of obviously drew interest. And when the movie was over, people cheered. And you want to talk about that being a sign of success? That people are going to stand up and cheer? People cheered and clapped.
I think they were happy that it was over.
It was not because of that. People,
thank God I'm out of here.
No, it wasn't.
I can't
because
handle
of
another
that.
10 minutes.
It wasn't because of that. And when I got there at 20 after 6. The movie was at 7. There was a line of about 30 people waiting to get in.
That's just dumb. That's why I pre-order my tickets and show up at 7 on a dot and just.
Well, you have assigned seats. These are not assigned seats.
Yeah, that's why I don't go there.
So, and I'm not driving half an hour to fucking do that shit. That's an hour's worth of driving for me. Fuck that. It's 15 minutes down the road. I don't care.
You just waited in line for 40 minutes. Fuck.
Yeah, but I didn't have to drive half an hour.
Who cares? I'd rather do that than wait 40 minutes standing there.
No, we waited 10 minutes standing and then sat down and we played the, whenever we go to a movie, me and the kid played a Friday the 13th game on my phone. It's like, can I play the Jason game while we wait? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So no, people were not cheering that it was over. They liked it. People were excited in line. I was just bullshitting with some people. I'm like, hey, why didn't you go see it next weekend? Oh, because I can see it this weekend because there's 2 movies. Well, you got Bumblebee coming out next weekend. And Spider-Verse came out this weekend. But
see, as I watched this, I was like, if I knew I was going to watch a cartoon movie, I wish I would have just went and saw Spider-Verse. The only reason I didn't see Spider-Verse this weekend, I promised my kid I'd take him next Thursday. So
if you were a real fan, you would have went this weekend and taken your kid.
I know. Well,
that's what I did with Star Wars. I saw it twice.
If I knew Aquaman was a boring disaster, I would have definitely went twice, but I knew we had to do this podcast and talk about it. So I took one for the team here.
It's about time. Talk a little bit about money on the movies of this weekend and Aquaman. Aquaman internationally, like foreign right now, 250 million.
Now, did you hear the stuff with China though? Apparently, these people are obsessed with nautical themes.
Like, I didn't hear that.
So, Waterworld, which is one of the worst
movies ever,
right?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like one of the most successful films of all time. There, like, apparently, Kevin Costner gets 1,000 letters a month from China people saying when Waterworld 2 is coming out. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit on China.
But it's not just China. It's
but hey, you still got to give them credit,
right? So I think it's tracking to 6 to 8 for foreign.
What does that mean? 6 to
800 or total? I forget. But right now it's on track with Black Panther for foreign sales. Okay. They're saying here should open up to 65 million, which I think is decent. You know, it's not a Marvel movie. I don't expect it to be. It's not a Star Wars movie.
65 is what I expect.
I would not expect this movie to pull in, you know, a Marvel type. Now, it could possibly pull a Venom thing. Who knows? I think it's possible because people like Momoa. As much as you say nobody knows him, or, you know, what has he done really besides Game of Thrones? He was done after one season. People know him. Like, you mention his name, people do. Oh yeah, he's hot.
He is not a strong actor, though.
No, he's not a strong actor. No, I never said he was, but he's recognizable. Okay, Spider-Verse this weekend on track for 35 to 40 million. I think, which is
it's what they predicted. Yeah,
and pretty good for a cartoon movie. Not as good as a Disney movie does.
Yeah.
Because like Friday, Spider-Verse did 12.6 million. The second movie for this weekend was the Clint Eastwood movie Mule.
That surprises me.
$6 million, 5.8 million. And
Mary Poppins is pulling numbers apparently, right?
I think that's next weekend.
Oh, okay.
That's next weekend. The worst movie ever, Mortal Engines. Oh my God, I don't even want to see that fucking movie.
Now, let me take my words back. I said maybe Aquaman has the worst CGI ever.
Oh, this movie looks bad, dude.
Yeah, that's probably worse.
So I think that had a budget well over $100 million, 150. 2.8 on Friday.
Wow.
Dude, that movie is garbage, bomb, done.
That's bad. I don't even know what that movie's about.
I mean, I don't even care. But what they're saying about the foreign for Aquaman, it did not tank the second weekend. So it's been out for 2 weekends over in what they call Middle Kingdom. I never even knew that there was Middle Earth, Middle Kingdom for movies. I don't know, a bunch of little hobbits running around watching movies. I didn't know that. No. But it's not dipping as much as they thought. Like, their numbers are positive. You know, they're not dropping 50%. They're dropping 20 something percent. I don't have the exact numbers. I think it's going to be on par to Venom overall as far as total money. Easy. That's what I think. And if it does say 600 foreign, Avengers domestic did 678, the Infinity War. That's 33%. Only a third of its money came from the United States. Everything else was overseas. Why? It's so popular in America.
That's still a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. But the foreign market is so powerful. That's kind of like what I'm getting at. So you look at Force Awakens, it was like 45% domestic, 55% foreign. And Rogue One was 50-50.
Wow.
Foreign and domestic. So it's weird how it works out. What's deemed a success and what's not deemed a success. This movie is going to be a success because of its foreign sales. Easy. And like I said, on track with Wonder Woman and Black Panther overseas.
Well, we got to get in the numbers. What do you rate it? Give us your 10.
No, it's a 7. I give it a 7. I can't give it a 7 because I had fun. I liked it. I liked I like the two characters, Mira and Aquaman, working together. I liked the Black Manta. I thought it was fucking awesome. I liked the underwater creatures, like the trench people. I thought were fucking crazy cool. That whole underwater scene with them diving down into the trench was fucking cool. The whole boat scene, I liked it.
Was it supposed to be Pacific Rim at the end?
No.
Like Goji monsters that he's riding. I was just like...
Although the monster that was guarding the staff, the trident at the end, was voiced by none other than Julie Andrews.
I don't know who that is.
Mary Poppins? Yeah. I think.
See, it goes back. He loves Mary Poppins with his sign
I've
umbrella.
never seen fucking Mary
sure
Poppins. Julie Andrews, known for musicals, doing Aquaman. I thought it was kind of funny. She did the voice of that, whatever that creature was called, the Carathan or whatever. I don't know. But that creature, over the top for me, but I still went with the absurdity of it. I gave it a 7. It was fun. I did find faults in the CGI. When he was, two things, ship was cutting through kelp in underwater. It was just really bad. It didn't even look real.
I didn't notice
that was one thing I noticed. When he was spinning the trident at the end, it didn't even look like it was in his hand. So there was a moment there I was like, yeah, okay.
How about the octopus playing drums?
That was fucking stupid. That was fucking bad.
I thought you were going to be like, that was the greatest moment ever.
That's a fucking Disney moment, dude.
It wasn't even needed.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
if I'm going to rip on a rhino fucking being in Black Panther, I'm going to rip on an octopus playing drums.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I didn't mind the drum sound overall because I like fight scenes with drums. Dun, 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 dun. That was fucking dumb. I give it a 7. It was fun. The CGI was bearable. It was not the greatest. Yes, they could have done better. The story was scripted well. Everything pieced together fine. That makes a good story and leaves it open for a sequel. I think they're going to do a sequel. I think the sequel can be better, and I think that helps pave the way for DC going forward. Helps.
I think any movie can be better. I'm giving it a 1.5. It was the most boring movie I've seen in a very long time. I thought the CGI was 20 years ago, totally unacceptable. I thought the humor fell flat. The pacing was super slow. The music was awful. The acting was really subpar. The only reason I'm even giving it a 1.5, I'm going to give it a 1 for Amanda Heard's cleavage. And I'm going to give it a 0.5 for the very brief moments Black Manta was in it. He was cool. He just was in it way too little. It was just boring. I've never been to a movie more boring. And I trying to think of like a redeeming quality of be like, do you know what? I really like that scene. Like any movie, I can usually pick out a scene. I can't think of one to be like, that was fucking badass. There was nothing. And I thought maybe I was being like harsh on it. I asked my wife what she would give it. She said a 3. I'm going with a 1.5. I was just bored to tears. It's only the second movie again that I've seen in theaters that I will not buy. That's pretty bad. I've seen some stinkers. I might still buy them.
Have. When I was watching it, I was actually thinking last night, I want to see this in 3D. I wouldn't pay, but I wouldn't mind seeing it in 3D. So I might get a 3D version when it comes out. I don't know, man. We're total opposites on this one, but you guys let us know what you think. If you didn't go this past weekend, I say go and make up your own mind. I think that's with any movie that we review. You got to see it and make up your own fucking mind. And don't worry about what people are saying, because either you are going to like it or you're not. You don't know until you go. There's plenty of movies that people said, it's fucking bad. Don't go see it.
It all depends.
And we've gone and we've liked it.
If you compare it to a Marvel movie, you compare it to Avatar, you compare it to Lord of the Rings, it's total garbage. You compare it against this machine movie, it might be a gold standard. I don't know.
It would be a 10.
What's it called again? Immortal Machines? Or
Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines.
I don't even want to talk about it. It looks fucking terrible. How does Peter Jackson go from making one of the greatest trilogies of all time to this? Don't know, dude.
He's been decreasing his... The Hobbit's been pretty bad. Let's face it.
Yeah. The Hobbit was one of those movies where I was like, oh, cool. And you kind of forced yourself to like it. But when you rewatch it, you're like, yeah, I got better things to do.
King Kong. Yeah, not so much.
King Kong, I didn't mind.
It's not bad, but it was less than... He's on a downward trend.
Yeah. Because when you do something that fucking great...
Can you match it?
Yeah. Like that's the top. And I don't know many people that can't say that The Lord of the Rings is one of the greatest trilogies of all fucking time. Very well done. Even if you like the books better, it's still fucking great. It's a whole other topic. Wow.
So there you go.
So let us know what you think, okay? So reach out to us via email, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Aaron, what's the Twitter handle?
@DNerdcast.
And like I said, I try to tweet something every day, a couple times, whatever. Get some news out there, cool videos, whatever I find fucking cool. Aaron's not a Twitter guy, so I've taken over the Twitterverse.
Like Aquaman, I'm also 20 years behind in technology.
But you like the Venmo over PayPal? We argue. First it was, dude, you got to get PayPal. You would not take cash payment from me.
I just love money.
I'm giving you cold, hard cash.
Well, you can't beat that.
No, you're like, I said, do you have change for a 10? No, fucking PayPal me. What the fuck? I'm not PayPaling you $6, asshole. Fucking give me $4 and change. Anyway, we're on Facebook, of course. So until next time,
grab your golden staff and stay away from the crabs.